Welcome to another episode of Freedom Found Podcast, where we help you move from that 9-to-5 grind into a life, career, or business that you absolutely love. All that I hate Monday syndrome, we getting rid of that. We're moving you to a space where you say, I absolutely love what I do, whether it's on the job or off the job. I am your host, Coach Amy P, and I am here today to really talk about something that is a change maker when it comes to planning and execution in your business, or whether you're on the job, it doesn't matter. It is a change breaker, guys, when you implement what I'm going to talk about today, and that is IOF, to planning and execution. It's kind of funny when you say IOF. I actually thought it was funny when I was thinking through this content earlier this week. I heard IOF, and the very first thing I thought about was IDAF, which is, you know what it means. I'm not going to go through that on my podcast, but it actually rings a little bit of a bell. But IOF actually stands for Insight, Oversight, and Foresight. And guys, if you have not implemented these three pillars in your business, you are missing the mark. You are definitely headed towards a space that you ain't gonna like. You're playing Russian roulette with your success, okay? And so I want to help you actually use this framework in your business or wherever you are in your space or in your career journey. I want to help you understand that you can apply these three things to many things, many situations in your life when it comes to planning and execution and getting to that space that you really are looking for in your life. Okay, I'm not here to sugarcoat it. I'm gonna get straight into it. Like I said, this framework is the difference between your business actually thriving and those that are actually going to crash and burn, because you have to do these things. There's no way around it. Okay. So I've actually used this framework in my learning and development agency. I've used it in my nonprofit mentoring teens. I've also used it to coach and mentor many of you that are watching this video. And so believe you me, it actually works. And if you've ever worked with me, I have probably introduced this framework to you in some way, form, or fashion. And so we're going to break it down a little bit. So let's go ahead and buckle up, put them seatbelts on, because by the end of this episode, family, you're going to know exactly how to take control of your planning and execution. And execution, no excuses.
You're looking for that freedom found.
So let's get into this first pillar of the IOF framework. It is called Insight. Okay, guys, in simple terms, listen, let me stop saying guys. Let me go ahead and correct that, because we're not all guys. Okay. So I'm going to go ahead and fix that now. Y'all, because your girl is country and I'm comfortable with my language. Okay. So I'm just going to say y'all. So anyway, let's start with the first pillar, Insight. So in simple terms, this is the simplest way I know how to put it. Insight is about knowing where you are right now. Okay. You can't fix what you don't understand. And that's a period. Okay. You really can't fix what you don't understand. Anytime I'm facing any type of new season or situation, when I'm feeling a certain type of way, man, I actually hunger and seek for insight. I'm always like, okay, what is it going on? What's happening right now on the inside of me? If it's in a space of business or learning, I'm like, what's going on right now in my business, or what's going on with my client right now? And so you can't really fix what you don't understand, and i.e. problems. You can't provide a solution to anything in any situation without actually understanding where you currently are, so you know how to offer a solution or how to kind of uproot or fix a situation. Okay, so here's a story. I want to share a little bit of a story from my learning and development agency. I worked with this corporate client one time. I'm not going to reveal the client's name, but they were pretty much struggling, with like high turnover rates, right, in their business. And it was all around their onboarding process. They were really struggling with their employees leaving. They were trying to figure out, okay, what do I need to do to be able to kind of, get people to stay? I'm not understanding why people just keep leaving my business. And this was a small business. And so one that many of you probably wouldn't know the name if I was to reveal the name to you right now, but they just couldn't figure out why these people are leaving the job like less than 6 months. And so you want to know what the problem is? They were pushing out this generic cookie cutter onboarding experience without, any type of understanding of what challenges they really were facing within the first 90 days of their job. They didn't really ask the employees kind of what they needed and what those challenges were that they were facing in the first 90 days. And so no insight, no solution. That literally is, what happened, with them. So what I did was I dove right into feedback. I actually sat with the employees. I started thinking through solutions based on what problems the actual employees were seeking. And then I thought about me as a new person coming into this business and thinking about, okay, what's missing here? What's going on with me? If I had to work this job, what is it that I need in order to do my job well? And so I looked at all types of stuff. I started looking at the metrics, things that the data that they actually had, access to. I started pulling all of that information. I started looking at the behaviors of the people that they were hiring and the people, that were actually on the job already doing the job. I asked them questions to kind of get more insight into what does it really take to do this job? And so there it was, like the people essentially needed more personalization. They needed to feel like they were a part of the mission. Like they needed this mission driven content so that when they entered the job, they felt connected. They weren't left out there just to do the job on their own. They had all the resources, all the tools and stuff right there in their hands to be able to be effective. Because a lot of times people get trained and just get thrown out into the workplace and they don't really know how to do the job. They're just stuck, And so once we kind of revamped their onboarding process, with those insights, their retention, it kind of skyrocketed. I think it was about 40%. Yeah, 40% that they saw an increase in their employees actually staying on the job. It was insane. Just something so simple. This client actually saw like their retention percentage increase, right? And that was something that the business actually cared a lot about, because it's costly to keep hiring people and things like that. And so imagine like if this is you, and maybe it's not a business situation, but maybe it's a personal situation. If you just look at where you currently are, just think about how many businesses right now, or maybe it's just you in your personal life, you're just kind of operating in the dark because you won't take the time to really look inside, to really get real with this insight that you already have, or even taking time to really seek within yourself to see what's going on so that you can choose the best solutions for you. So, like right now in today's world, gathering insight, actually, it's not a nice to have, y'all. It's actually something that's super essential, not only in business, but in life, period. And, companies that leverage insights from data, they grow twice as fast as their competition. Okay. According to Harvard Business Review, they grow twice as fast. But remember, like, it's not just about the data. Okay. It's about making sense of that data. It's about making sense of what you find out and applying it to your specific situation or specific context around whatever problems that you're facing. So what can you do? Here's what you can do right now. Okay. Ask yourself, what is it that I need? Or ask your audience, like, what is it that they really need? Okay. Whether you're looking, like I said earlier, whether you're working with clients, whether you're building something in your business, you're trying to establish your team on your job, you're transitioning in your career, you're transitioning out of your career. You may be a student trying to figure out post-graduation and your life after graduation. It doesn't matter. Like, really start to survey yourself, start to survey where you are. Maybe you can host, like I like hosting focus groups, like people that share the same interests as me. I like to kind of ask people who are surrounding me or people who are ahead of me. I like to ask them questions to really gain insight, and dive straight into that data to really see, okay, based on this is what's happening right now. This is really what's going on with me. And this is what's going on out in the world. Okay, great. I have some insight. Now I can take action and really do some things in my life. So don't assume you know, not even about yourself. Okay, don't assume you know. Find out. Okay, find out. Insight is the foundation, y'all, for everything that follows. Everything else we're going to talk about in this episode. Insight is foundational to understanding this IOF framework. You must know where you are before you can actually pursue anything further. Okay. And the Bible even talks about this. You guys know that faith is one of my values, and I'm going to share some scripture, okay, with you in every episode. So let me tell you what the Bible says in Proverbs 1:5. It even says, let the wise hear and increase in learning, and the one who understands obtain guidance. Wisdom and understanding are key to to making insightful decisions. Okay. Don't skip this part of the process, y'all. Please don't do that, or you'll be leading yourself blind. Okay. Don't skip this part of the process. What's up, family? Coach Amy P here. Are you waking up on Mondays feeling like you are stuck in a job that you do not love? Listen, I get it. But guess what? It does not have to be that way. My coaching services, you can break free from the I hate Monday cycle and start saying, I love what I do. Imagine waking up excited for work, feeling fulfilled on purpose for your destiny, saying, I absolutely love what I do. Don't let another day go by feeling unfulfilled and uninspired. Visit CoachAmyP.com today. Matter of fact, right now, to submit your discovery session. Let's unlock your fullest potential, discover your passions, and create the career you absolutely love, whether it's on the job or off the job. I can't wait to help you on this journey. Let's get back to the episode. Next up is Oversight. Yeah, this is the part where, man, self-leadership, leadership period matters most, okay? Oversight isn't about micromanaging. It's really not about that. It's not about micromanaging every single detail. It's really about steering the ship, and making sure you, your team, whoever you're leading actually stays on course. You can actually apply this to your life, and you also can apply this while you're on the job or off the job. Don't forget this, okay, when I'm talking to you, because you can apply this simple framework to every season and every aspect of your life. So if you're hovering over every little detail, if you're like trying to figure it out, trying to control the hand of God in every single moment of your life, you're not really leading, man. You're really not doing that. You're controlling. You're really trying to control a situation. And that's not healthy at all. It doesn't, on or off the job, it's not healthy. And here's the truth. Most leaders, and especially in self-leadership, we either do too much or we do too little. So it's just too much. Okay. So I had a client, I want to share an example with you. I had a client one time who was a solopreneur. This person had transitioned out of the corporate space, and she thought that oversight meant doing everything herself. Like, I need to be in charge because I am the brand. I am the face of this brand. I need to make sure that everything is done the way that, and I get this. I can relate to this in my own business, having a hard time letting go of certain aspects of my business because I am the brand, I am the face. And sometimes you don't trust yourself, and you don't trust people with that content or with that space of your business yet. And so it's hard for you to let go. But she thought that oversight meant, it actually meant doing everything herself. And so it was driving her straight to burnout. And yes, I have been a victim of this burnout syndrome as well. And so she didn't have systems in place, like I didn't have systems in place. She didn't have systems in place. And without those, we know that you're going to fail if you do not have a system in place. Okay. So what I did, I pretty much built a plan. I helped her establish a plan, where we could check in weekly, and I taught her how to also instill the same practice in her business with her own employees, her own team. And so we started establishing these weekly check-ins. We defined her goals. I made her define, her key performance indicators for those of you who like a good KPI. But essentially, it's just a goal. It's like something that we can use to measure the success. And most importantly, like what she did from doing that, what she learned from doing that is she learned how to delegate. And the same lesson was learned from me. Learn how to delegate. And that's what oversight is all about. It's really about setting the stage for your team or for yourself to stay aligned, without losing sight of the bigger picture. So oversight actually helps you know, what you need to adjust, what you need to do in order to not lose sight of your vision or not lose sight of the big picture. And so within a year, my client she went from feeling overwhelmed, man, to thriving, like really being an excellent business owner and controlling a team. I said controlling. Let me take that out, because I just said, we ain't trying to control. Let me go ahead and remove my language right there. That's so funny. I'm glad I caught that. But no, like she really essentially, she went from overwhelmed. She went from feeling so overwhelmed with all of these tasks, trying to manage everything by herself, to thriving and being a successful business owner with a clear plan in place. And it actually helped her team know exactly where they were going and what was going on in the business. So, thinking about oversight, I'm actually thinking about the latest article from Amazon. Let me pull it up really quick. CEO of Amazon, Andy Jassy, I think his name is. He recently announced. You guys probably have seen this if you haven't seen it. Go look it up. But he just announced that all remote workers for Amazon are actually he's requiring them to come back into the office by 2025. And I saw that, I was like, how dare they do that, man? They're going to allow remote work, and then now you guys are going to like make people come back into the office. Where's the morale? Where's the employee? Like, what about employee engagement and morale? And like, but then I thought about it as a business owner, and I was like, you know what? Why is this? And I went and I read the article. I dug deep into why the CEO actually said this. And what I found out is that Amazon is actually tightening its oversight, bringing people back together to really drive faster decision making and to improve collaboration, because they've lost some of that when people are at home. People are not as engaged. They're not collaborating in a healthy way in remote work. And so it's not really about micromanaging, but about being intentional with leadership, with your leadership and where you are, to foster that space of accountability. Like, you are accountable for for a corporation, for a business. And so you have to make hard decisions. And this is one of the ones that Andy has made. And I'm like, who am I to judge this man around the decision that he made to access employees to come in? But the trend, remote work is trending, right? It's here to stay. It's not going anywhere. So oversight also has become like a whole different ball game. And this is something for me, even as a leader, to think about. It's like, man, am I going to allow that? Do I agree with remote work or not? Being a person that worked primarily from home, 100% remote, I do understand the need to be in the office, the need to collaborate, the need to make sure that things are being done a certain way based on the business. And so instead of focusing on FaceTime and the virtual type work, remote work, it's about creating a results driven culture. And I so agree with that. I'm about results. I'm about driving results, making sure that we see results. It's not just about doing things. It's about what's the fruit of the work that you're actually doing. And so according to a study by Buffer, it said that 97% of remote employees want more clear expectations and accountability from leadership. That's pretty much oversight in a nutshell. Like, they want the oversight. And sometimes what we find in these situations is that employees don't really know what's going on. And so they self lead, like they take themselves into these spaces. They create opportunities for themselves. They figure it out on their own, which part of that is a beautiful learning process. But then part of it is like, man, if you're not careful, those employees will be leading the organization away from your vision. And that happens a lot in business, in all the spaces that I've been in. I've seen that happen, where it's like expectations and accountability is not clear, from leadership. It's not very clear. And so what happens is employees start to lead themselves. People start to lead themselves, because that's what we're naturally going to do. And so right now, Coach, what are you saying? Like, what action can I take? Let me give you an action right now. What I want you to do is take 5 minutes, to really map out your oversight system. Like, what is it that you can do to provide that level of oversight in your personal life or in your business, where you are right now? Like, who's checking in with whom? Are you checking in on yourself? Do you have an accountability partner that can check in on you? Like, what's the process for accountability? Like, what is it? What metrics are you actually tracking to where oversight can kind of give you that insight into wherever you're going? So most importantly, like how are you ensuring that everyone, including yourself, is aligned with your vision, with your mission? How can you make sure this is happening? Trust me, when oversight is done right, man, it is a game changer. Said man, oversight is done right, y'all. It's a game changer, not just for man, but for woman and whoever else out there listening. It really is a game changer. The Bible actually says in Proverbs 11:14 that where there is no guidance, a people fall. Okay. But in an abundance of counselors, there is safety. As a leader, your role is to guide, including guiding yourself, not control. Bring in the right counsel for you, for your team, and empower them to make the right decisions. Be empowered. to make the right decisions.
What's up, family? Coach Amy P here. Are you waking up on Mondays feeling like you are stuck in a job that you do not love? Listen, I get it. But guess what? It does not have to be that way. My coaching services, you can break free from the I hate Monday cycle and start saying, I love what I do. Imagine waking up excited for work, feeling fulfilled on purpose for your destiny, saying, I absolutely love what I do. Don't let another day go by feeling unfulfilled and uninspired. Visit CoachAmyP.com today. Matter of fact, right now to submit your discovery session. Let's unlock your fullest potential, discover your passions, and create the career you absolutely love, whether it's on the job or off the job. I can't wait to help you on this journey. Let's get back to the episode.
And now, my friends, we are talking about foresight. This is one of my favorite spaces to be because I am a visionary. I like to think about the future in providing solutions for problems that we're seeing now to kind of see a better future. I'm all about that. The magic ingredient that separates great leaders, great leadership. You have to be a visionary. You can have all the insight, all the oversight in the world, but if you are not thinking ahead, you are setting yourself up for failure. This is so true. Do not misunderstand me or not hear me in this space. Okay. Foresight is about looking ahead. All right. Anticipating the trends. It's about preparing for what's coming. Let me share a story with you from Live to Create, the nonprofit that I actually manage mentoring teens. And there's one of my students that I'm thinking about right now. He actually felt stuck. He didn't know if college was actually for him. And so he came to us, with a love for technology. He also was a creative. He enjoyed music and things like that. And so we pretty much use Foresight to guide him in the cybersecurity field. I know you're thinking, well, music and technology, what does that actually have to do with, music and technology? What does it actually have to do with cybersecurity? But to be honest, cybersecurity actually is one of those fields that is expected to explode over the next decade. I don't know what it's going to mean for music, but there's so much that's connected in the technology and the music space. And so he's kind of now on a career path that aligns with his passions, and he's pretty much positioning himself for this massive growth because the industry is changing. The music industry is changing now that AI and things like that have started to be introduced in this space of technology. We're seeing it in everything. And so cybersecurity is a space that's massively growing. And we kind of look at that space for him in ways that he can actually use technology, music, and all of those things to be able to come up with the career that he actually desired. He's so young. So now he's on this path, this journey to learning more about technology, to actually sticking with music to where he is going to enter the cybersecurity space. And so Foresight isn't just about, seeing opportunities. It's about taking action on them. It really is about taking action on them. Too many people are reactive. Don't be this person being super reactive, waiting until something is trending or waiting until something actually happens before you move. By then it's just too late. You're behind the game. You're behind the 8 ball if you're waiting for a trend or something to actually happen. You're just behind. So Foresight is really about spotting this trend spotting trends before it actually happens, before everyone else does, and positioning yourself to really take advantage of this. We're living in the world of AI and automation. I just mentioned this, the whole digital disruption. AI is disrupting every single industry, every single space on the planet, and it's happening faster than ever. I just watched, the episodes or the interview Oprah did with the founder of OpenChat, GPT. A lot of us are using Chat GPT in our daily lives. And, it's interesting how fast these tools actually kind of take off. But AI has been around for a very long time. Google is a form of AI. And I can remember even being in the corporate space, working my corporate job. We use AI, certain elements of AI to be able to automate systems and processes in the workspace. And even in learning, when it comes to online learning, we use AI to kind of do certain tasks and like chat bots and things like that to be able to respond pretty much in an automatic way so that the learner or the person that we're engaging stay engaged. And so according to World Economic Forum, 85 million, this is so interesting, this article, according to World Economic Forum, They said 85 million jobs will be displaced by 2025. 85 million jobs will be displaced by 2025. But here's the kicker. 97 million new jobs will actually emerge. So that gives you a little insight into, man, even though these jobs are about to have a turn, like they may be eliminated, 97 million new ones are about to be created, about to emerge into this whole new economics that we're walking into. So if you're not using Foresight to see where your industry is headed, you're toast, man. If you're not using it in your own business, if you're not using it in how you're, building your future, you really are going to find yourself behind. So here's what I want you to do. This is the action I want you to take this week. It's one thing. Here's what I want you to do. So this week, research one emerging trend in your field. Okay, whether it's AI, it's sustainability, or your customer is changing, like your consumer behaviors are changing for your person. Maybe it's with yourself. Maybe there's something that's emerging within you and you're like, man, I'm really sensing something new that I want to do in the space that I'm in. Or maybe it's a new space that you're trying to enter into. And so it doesn't matter what it is, but I want you to dig into what's coming next. What's coming next with whatever this thing is that's emerging in you, and ask yourself, how can I position myself or my business to ride that wave? What does it look like for me to position myself to really ride this wave? Foresight isn't about predicting, okay? The future is really about being ready for it. So don't misunderstand me when I'm talking about foresight. It's really about being proactive instead of reactive. We have to plan for these things so that we know the steps that we need to take in business and with ourselves, okay? So the Bible says in Proverbs 22:3, it says, the prudent see danger and take refuge, but the simple, they keep going and pay the penalty. Let's not pay the penalty, friends. Foresight is about planning ahead, like I've said already, being proactive instead of reactive. So make sure you're taking advantage of what we're talking about today. And y'all, that's what I have for you. That's what I have. There you have it. Okay. The IOF to planning and execution, insight, oversight, and foresight. This isn't some fluffy leadership. There my kids go. This isn't some fluffy leadership theory, okay? It's battle tested. It's really a battle tested strategy that will take your planning and execution to the next level. So whether you're, building a business, like I said, whether you're building a business, whether you're leading a nonprofit, you're leading yourself, or navigating this transition in your career, some type of career transition, these 3 principles, I'm telling you, will help you go from guessing to knowing. Okay, from surviving to thriving. All right, it's essential to your success. So let me look at the camera right now, because this is what I want you to take away. I want you to take these 3 things away. Gather your insight. Okay, don't guess. I want you to lead your oversight. Stay aligned. And I want you to prepare for foresight. Stay ahead. So I challenge you. I really challenge you, friends, to apply one of these principles this week. Don't wait. Do it this week. Because here's the truth. The future belongs to those who really plan for it. And IOF is how you're going to do that, okay? It's how you're going to do it. So thanks for tuning in, friends, to Freedom Found Podcast. I'm so excited to have discussed this theory, this framework with you. If you found this episode valuable, please leave a comment, like, subscribe, share it with someone that needs it, guys. Be a friend. Share it with someone who you know could use this information, who need it in their business, who need it as they're facing a transition in life. Until next time, keep pushing forward and go ahead and break free from that 9-to-5 grind, man. That mindset of being an employee in the workspace. You are the CEO of your life. I'm your host, Coach Amy P. See you next time.
You're looking for that freedom, freedom, freedom.